Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel where I film on an iPhone because I have nothing else. Excuse the makeup, I just got my hair hennaed and I just thought I would try to match it with my makeup and this lipstick that I got like a couple of years ago, which is sort of very spotty and really not that comfortable, I have to say. It's a little bit slimy. So yeah, excuse the light because I'm filming this in my room. I don't have that good lighting, so it's just super bright on I guess this side. I don't know why it's happening. So yeah. But if I change the lighting, then my face goes really dark, so I don't want to do that. So this is how we're gonna do that. A couple of months ago, I started watching iCarly with my sister, who's 11 years younger than me, and I started to wonder if this show would survive on YouTube today. Not the actual iCarly show, but the actual web show that Carly, Sam, Afraid created. Would that survive on YouTube today if it made it? I think it would be, but it would be exactly the reason, good reasons. To start off with, iCarly, it was I don't know, a crystal ball type of show. It predicted so much of YouTube culture. It's so insane how, literally, how much they predicted. You know, they predicted cancel culture with Neville and him, there's the scene in one of the later seasons when he saw this girl, right? And then he I think he took something from a girl in a store and she started to cry. Somebody got on videotape and then he was canceled for it and people loved it, and they had the main characters had a party because they're yes, he's you know, being canceled. And I think that's so relevant today, on Twitter and so on, which is super interesting. And then of course, you know, there's they predict the YouTube drama because there's so much drama that happens online in the show, you know, with Neville, with Freddie and Valerie tried to make another show, and that would have just been very dramatic to see as a viewer. And then Carly and Sam's multiple different dramas they had throughout the show. Freddie and Sam getting together, then not getting together, and their dramatics in the whole show. And Sam being mean to Freddie, that would be dramatic as well. And Carly, Sam, and Misty, I don't know if that was really put onto their web show, I forget. But the way that Carly's friend came back and then took her away from Sam or something, that would be so dramatic as well. That would have been so interesting to see played out on screen, you know? And then besides that, I have my computer with all of this notes, and that's why I'm looking down. Besides that, they have boxing fights. Come on, boxing fights for publicity. How predictable can they get? Carly and I don't know, the Victoria Justice girl literally had a boxing match. And that got pretty dramatic. That's literally YouTube culture. That has happened. It's crazy. And then they also you know, YouTuber awards, the iWeb awards, YouTuber conventions, you know, Webicon, which is now VidCon, and the awards, the iWeb awards is sort of the streamies, and especially even the obsessed fan base of paparazzi going to their houses and trying to spy on them. That is so resident of YouTube today, all of the fans coming to people's houses, because that did happen on the show. It's just crazy. And you know, obsessed fans who make videos on them, who just go above and beyond to show their love, and sometimes in a very creepy way. Nora and Mandy, that weird engaged couple, which I'm gonna get into my video. And then they also had shipping, heavily shipping, even adults shipping these kids who are minors at the time. That remind me of the TikTok stars right now. You know, these adults being obsessed with kids and making videos on kids, and the paparazzi following them, that Hollywood Fix guy, I think. It's so interesting how much this show predicted. And you know, even more so, you know, they live streamed, you know, that's Twitch. They really predicted Twitch. And then they had sponsors the tech foot, which was faulty, and there's been YouTubers you know, having faulty sponsors as well. I think Gabby Hanna was one of them. And then there's TV spin-offs and producers trying to get involved. YouTubers trying to make it big onto the TV screen, and then you know, their shows being really different than what they do on YouTube. And that happened on iCarly. That reminds me of Superwoman, was it? And her late night show. They have YouTube dating shows. On the episode I Want to Date. And of course merch, which are the penny tees, which you know, I'm wearing a penny tee that I got at Etsy. I literally got a couple of months ago because you know what? I needed one, and it literally says Macaroni Girl on it. And it's just so crazy. It's really insane how much they predicted. And then you had like, YouTubers on talk shows. They went on Jimmy Fallon in like the last season. So yeah, it's just crazy how much they predicted. But there's so many videos on YouTube. So I want to really look at would the show survive. That's really what my main argument is. But, I just wanted to say how much the show has really impacted or predicted the YouTuber universe. Though, one thing I do have to, really point out is that this show, it was the early 2000s show, and some things were a bit problematic in that show. When I watched it with my sister, I had to sometimes stop it and explain why that was problematic. And there's a couple of things that I think would not be shown today because they're a little bit, problematic and uncomfortable. And, like the Jamaican laser tag episode in I Find Spencer Friends, that's really, really problematic. They're putting on Jamaican accents and they're running around pretending to be Jamaicans. That's just, no, why did they do that? And then, Spencer dancing around happily with little boys in a dream in I Dream of Dance. That's, really creepy. Why? Why do they have that? I guess it was, Carly's dream or whatever he was in it, but it's still, creepy. And then they have the bad representation, or what I think was bad representation, of major mental illnesses in I Lost My Mind. That was sort of playing people's disabilities for, a comic relief. And, that's, really offensive, And, I guess I, really feel that because, I'm disabled as well. I mean, I'm only physically disabled, but I still sort of get hurt by that. It did shape my childhood, and one of the reasons why I watch it so much is because besides that it was super funny is that Carly is a strong female character who says no, in really uncomfortable situations, like when Neville kisses her, and when that weird guy kept going to her table when she went on that awkward three-way date with Sam and Freddie when they were dating. I don't know what episode it was from. She says no, which is really important to show that a kid's TV show. So I just want to point it out there that the show can be problematic, that there's elements, but I really want to use this to just think about how the show would survive in current YouTube climate. For the beginnings, with their viral video, it became viral. It was a rant video, and it became viral. I think it might have been popular. There's so many of those videos now that it might have just gone washed away, but it could have been popular. I think they could have gone popular from that video. So, the first episode I want to talk with, and I literally went down with all of the episodes. I went on iTunes, I looked at all of the episode descriptions. The first episode I want to talk about is I Want to Stay with Spencer. And in this show, they're doing a web show. They're live streaming, having fun, and they have this wheel of hammers that Spencer made, and one comes off and nearly beheads iCarly. Or, oh my god, iCarly? Beheads Carly. What am I saying? I know her name is not iCarly. So, Spencer does get in trouble, but not on the internet. They only get in trouble with their grandfather who's there. I think in this video, if this was a live stream here, people would care, and that would have gone viral, because that is dangerous and scary. And I think Spencer would have gotten more canceled. Somebody would have gone canceled here. A lot of these episodes, I realized that they would have gone canceled because the things they do are out there. So I think Spencer would have gotten more canceled than the kids because, he is the adult and they are 13 at that point. So I think that, they would have gone canceled a bit too, but it would be more on Spencer's fault because he's the adult, he made it, but maybe they would get canceled too. I'm not quite sure, but I think Spencer still would definitely get canceled if this was uploaded to YouTube today. So the second one is I Scream on Halloween. And that is when they go to this apartment and they go inside and it's haunted and they think it's haunted, but it's actually not haunted, but somebody lives there. I think it would go viral as well, as those shows are pretty popular, the scary shows, the conspiracy shows, Shane Dawson-esque shows. I think those would go unpopular. But, now I'm remembering that because somebody lives there, they could have gone into a lot of trouble on that, and I think, they could have gone semi-canceled on that, but not really. Not as much as the other stuff. I'm just bashing on the show. I'm so sorry. I love this show. I think they just would have been canceled for some of these things. Um, yeah. I don't know. It's fun. Yeah. So maybe it would have gone canceled, but because somebody lived there, but I think it would have gone more viral for the good reasons, because people like scary stuff. Okay, number 3, I spy a mean teacher. Or I spy on a mean teacher, I'm not quite sure. Might be on a mean teacher. This is really problematic, okay? This is another, break-in house, but they didn't know that it was somebody was... But, unlike the I Scream on Halloween, they didn't know this. They knew that somebody, lived there. So, I think they would have definitely got canceled for this. The kids are breaking into their teacher's, apartment. Everybody will be like, what are you doing? You need to, get off the internet. You need to be held for your actions. Why are you doing this? And they're live streaming it too. That's a breach of privacy. Also, Spencer, Pam, and Mrs. Benson would all have gone canceled, would all have faced repercussions because they are the adults, and Carly, Sam, and Freddie are the minors at this point. This is still in the first season. And I think they would have gone driven off of the platform for probably days or months. It would take a long time for them to really get another hold on the platform again. So the 4th one is I Want a World Record. And yeah, that would have gone viral for the good reasons. They wanted to have a world record. And I think people would be like, yeah, good, viral. It's like a Mr. Beast video. They want to have a world record, and they almost did. That would have garnered a lot of views. So I don't think they would have gone canceled for that, but I think they would have gotten a lot of views, and it would be fun. So yeah. I got Detention, which is still the first season. A lot of these are from the first season. I don't know why. They were really, really, crazy in the first season as kids. Which, makes sense, early teenagers. You want to do, crazy stuff. Okay, so I got Detention. This might have gone viral, or it probably would, because they are filming in detention. They all get detention, because I think Sam gets detention on her 50th web show. So they decide to break in and film it. Or Freddie has to break in and Carly will break its detention. I'm not quite sure. But I think it would have gone viral. But they didn't really face any repercussions. The bad teachers face repercussions, but to think about it, they were only doing their job. Why did the principal be like, oh, it's fine to do the live stream? The kids would have gone repercussions. Their parents would, and their guardians would, because, they're in charge of the kids. The principal would have got repercussions. He probably would have lost his job because he was on the live stream and being like, yes, it's okay for these kids to do this live stream in school when they're in detention. You don't do that. I think also the kids probably would have got suspended too, but maybe not for that long. I'm not quite sure. This is just imagination, and I'm just having fun with this, okay? Okay, the next one is I Heard Bluebird and Messing with Lubird / I Find Lubers Lost Love. Okay, they would have got it so canceled for these segments on iCarly, because it's incredibly cruel that they mess with this guy. The guy is mean, he's weird and so on, but that's still cruel to really mess up and try to hurt him, It's just because it's not with his consent, it's I don't know, it just seems like trolling, and I don't really like it. So I feel like they would have gone canceled, their parents would have gone canceled, parents plus Spencer, because I know Spencer's not Carly's dad. I think there's just a scene with Gibby and that, which is really funny. And I think they would have gone driven off the internet for days or months, the episode where they spy on their mean teacher, the red-haired lady. In the later episode, I Find Lubers Lost Love, which is the sequel to I Heard Bluebird. This might have been seen as their redemption. However, it is sort of obvious that they're sort of just doing this for views. They care, but I feel like it's viewers would just be you're just doing this for views. Why do you actually care about this guy? Because you were cruel to him. And I think a lot of people would have rolled their eyes at it if this actually happened on YouTube. So yeah, I don't think that that would be like a good viral video to really have. Good for views, but not good for like what people think of them. 7 is I Rock the Vote, which they tried to make David Archuleta win for like some sort of contest. I'm not quite sure. And they try to make their viewers vote for him. Would they have done it? I don't know. I don't know if they really would, if they were so big that they could have done it if this was real. Who knows? That might be in a viral video. I'm not quite sure if it would be, but yeah. Number 8 is I Cook. And this is when they collaborate with a chef and then they win. And like the chef and them have a cooking competition. I think that this would garner a lot of views for the iCarly channel because they collaborated with this really famous chef. And then the follow of the collaboration would have gone viral as the chef's reaction to them winning would have been viewed as extreme. And the chef in the episode, he literally is like, oh, you guys won, I'm not gonna cook anymore, which is really extreme, really stupid. So I think that would have gone viral, and I think a lot of people would laugh more at the chef than at, or care more about a chef than, iCarly. But iCarly would have still gotten views, because they collaborated with this famous guy. I Fix a Pop Star, which is when they like collaborate with this pop star and film her like music video, and this pop star is like really mean. I think this would have gone viral too because they're like, I don't know, 15 at this point, and they're collaborating with a pop star and they're making her music videos. Like, that's so cool as teenagers. That would have just gone viral too. The 11th one is I Do, which I sort of talked about at the beginning with that crazy couple. It would have gone viral. Like, in the show, this couple proposes on their show and they're like in their mid-20s. And I think that would have gone viral because, proposing on live stream is unexpected. That would make a lot of views go up. But I think the couple would have been canceled because after they proposed on a show, they were like, come to our wedding. They told that to the kids and Spencer. Like, that's really weird. And it's also really weird that there are these adults who are obsessed with, like, this show with kids. Like, that's just weird. That's, like, the weird fan stuff that, like, is happening right now. Like, this, no, I don't like that at all. Number 12 is I Lost My Mind, which I mentioned before, which I think is really poor representation of people with mental illnesses and intellectual disability. And in this episode, they actually film in a mental hospital, which is so bad. Like, they would have gone so canceled for this because they didn't ask to do the show beforehand. They didn't have anybody's consent. They just did it, and no, like, it just, no, when I was rewatching it, I was like, why are they doing this? I don't like this at all. It's just like, I don't know, I didn't like the episode at all. But, it would have been bad for their image, would have gone driven off the site, and their parents would have been cancelled as well. I mean, I'm not quite sure if their parents would be cancelled for them at that point, because I think they're 18 or 17. But still, they're the technically the more adult figures. They would have been cancelled too. And yeah, it was just not a good thing to do. I think they would have gotten cancelled for, honestly. It's just like, you don't do that. And I don't know. It's the episode that I take most issue with. And then the last one is I Go One Direction, which is the last episode. Not the last episode, but it's in the last season. And this is when they invite One Direction onto their show, and then One Direction does a song, and Carly is sick, and she takes a sip of her water from her water bottle, and then Harry Styles drinks from the water bottle, and then he gets sick, and then they're like, oh, we can't perform with Harry because he's sick. They would have gone viral for collaborating with One Direction, because, let's face it, if they still did it in this time, viral. It's still a popular band even though they have broken up. I think they would have gone canceled, but only from like obsessed teenage 1D fans, or One Directioners. Because Carly accidentally got Harry sick, but I don't think a lot of people would cancel them. I just think like a lot of fans would just be like, oh, why did you do that? Like, why did you do that? Blah, blah, blah. That's most of the videos I found that were like problematic or like interesting to see if they would have gone viral. Okay, so the last part is this bonus situation, which is Nora, their like fan who's a little bit strange, and who tries to kidnap them, and then goes to jail, and then they have to testify, and then she comes out of jail. It's like really weird. That would have gone viral too, even though it happened off screen, because a fan kidnapping YouTubers, that is just bizarre. That would be viral as well. But I think a lot of people would be in iCarly's favorite because it would be canceled. If all of these led up, I think still people would be favorable to the actual kids. In conclusion, would iCarly survive on YouTube today? I think that they would, because even though a lot of stuff they did would be problematic in this time period, I still think they would have become famous. But a lot of that would be negative attention, because a lot of the things like they would have gone canceled for. But I think, yeah, they would have gone famous. That is my video. If you liked the video, like and subscribe and comment if you want. And I'll post all of my links and accounts and everything down below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!